in Florida. Let's play this clip of Ron DeSantis in his flailing campaign. They are cash strapped. All of his top big money donors have basically tapped out, right? There's only so many you can have of those big donors. There's only so much money they can contribute.
And they're not going to contribute when you're currently in a national poll. I saw tied with Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, again, that's just one poll, but he's distant second by most metrics.
Yes.
Trump.
And he's also losing, like there's a big, personnel shakeup. So what is he going to do? He's going to come out with a bold new program to deal with the material interests of the American public. No, I'm sorry. He's going to sue Bud Light for having a trans person promote their product.
Bud Light went woke and first responders went broke. So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is calling on the board, who runs the Florida Pension Fund, to sell all InBev stock, unload Bud Light, and get out while they can. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis joins me now. So, Governor, how badly did this pension take a hit?
No,
You can't even smile.
Well, we had over $50 million worth of InBev stock in the pension. Of course, Florida's pension fund's about $180 billion. So it's a pretty big endeavor, but it has absolutely hurt teachers. It has absolutely hurt other pensioners. And, we talk about woke corporations, and a lot of times we focus on, understandably, how they're trying to change society, get involved in politics.
Pause it for 1 second. Now, wait a second. Just to be clear, is this story about how people like Jesse Waters and Ron DeSantis, in causing a boycott of Bud Light, have harmed teachers and first responders? Is that what this video is about? Do I have that right, Bradley?
Yes, because I think it'll harm their pensions.
Right. Is that what the video is about? They're criticizing themselves for going on this attacking of. Is that what it is? Oh no, it isn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Other pensioners. And, we talk about woke corporations, and a lot of times we focus on, understandably, how they're trying to change society, get involved in politics, and we fight back against that. We did that against Disney and others, and that's important. But the flip side of it is, just as you suggest, when you start pursuing a political agenda at the expense of your shareholders, that's not just impacting very wealthy people, it impacts hardworking people who were police officers, firefighters, and teachers in terms of the pension. So what we're doing, since we do have these shares, we believe that when you take your eye off the ball like that, you're not following your fiduciary duty to do the best you can for your shareholders. So we're going to be launching an inquiry about Bud Light and InBev, and it could be something that leads to a derivative lawsuit filed on behalf of the shareholders of the Florida Pension Fund, because at the end of the day, there's got to be penalties for when you put business aside to focus on your social agenda at the expense of hardworking people.
Are you looking at Disney too?
Are you looking at yourself? I love the idea of DeSantis has emptied the clip on every culture war thing he could possibly do. He's done the Stop Woke Act. He's shipped migrants to Martha's Vineyard. Right. He's done anti-CRT stuff. I mean, he has done everything possible, and his team's like, maybe one more stunt will do it.
Ron DeSantis is to this presidential campaign like Laura Loomer was to Twitter. Remember when she handcuffed herself to the door of Twitter?
He's a volume shooter.
Be more and more he's just the level of desperation associated with this is fascinating.
Yeah,
I mean, and you're absolutely right. The idea that this has been going so well for me to pursue this, this anti-woke campaign, I'm going to double down on it. And
double.
And of course, I mean, I hope this goes without saying.
Quintuple.
There is not a single corporation that engages in any activity, and these big corporations, that engages in any activity that isn't ultimately perceived by them to be beneficial to their business interests, Period. End of story. It may be the case that what they do in some way is consistent with stuff that is good for society, but their motivation for doing this is always 100% because we need to build our brand in a positive way. That doesn't mean that the individuals in there aren't happy about it, but nobody is going to make a move. There is not a single person who sits atop the leadership of a corporation who says, this is going to be bad for business, but we're going to do it anyways. It's
illegal if you're a publicly traded company, you have a fiduciary duty to your shareholders as enshrined by U.S. case law. So it's just, this is all such a farce. He can't even smile. He can't even talk. And another aesthetic point, I like how Jesse's trying to differentiate himself. Instead of sitting like Tucker did, he's going to stand.
Is he standing the whole show?
I don't know.
He looks awkward.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll be sitting. He'll just give him a month or two, and he'll be sitting.
I think he needs a facelift with the weight loss.